Hi, I'm Rob from HopZine. Thanks for joining me for a live review here on YouTube. As you can see, I'm joined by my esteemed guest, Simon. How you doing, mate?
How you doing, Rob? How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, good. I'm looking forward to drinking some beer. It's Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night. Get some beers in. Get some beers
Absolutely.
in.
Would you normally be doing one of your live things tonight?
Yeah. I've got.
Friday
I've
night.
this whole, I used to do Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, but then my daughter joined karate and just chucked everything in the air.
So, and the beer that we're going to be looking at tonight is from Howling Hops. They're in East London, Hackney Wick to be precise, and we're looking at a kind of the house IPA, an India Pale Ale at 6.9% ABV. So big thanks to the guys at the brewery sending both me and Simon these beers. So we both got sent them, so I thought, well, why not have a do a tandem review?
Absolutely. I've been following this brewery since Peter, the Master of Hobbits, came over to the kitchen probably 5-6 years ago, and he's saying that they were brewing in a pub back then. I think.
Absolutely. Exactly. That trip was the first time I encountered Howling Hops. They were in the basement of a pub called the Cock Tavern, in just next to the station in Hackney Central. And it's a cracking pub, but it was a tiny little place. And now I've been to the last time I was in London. Me, Craig, Jake, and a bunch of others went to their tank bar in Hackney Wick, which is a fantastic place actually. I mean, it's all kind of served from kind of, I presume, conditioning tanks. And, and I don't know how many beers from that range have you got through so far?
You caught me on the hop now. I have a double IPA. I think about 8%. Have a let me grab it.
No, have you drank any so far?
Oh, sorry, the Pale XX.
Yeah, I had that one not last night on Wednesday. But they're really kind of like really easy drinking, kind of quaffable beers I've had. So this is the higher ABV one that I've had so far.
Yeah, it seems interesting.
Oh, my phone's been an idiot. I mean, that's one downside of Android is, well, especially Samsung, Bixby is an idiot.
Yeah. Do you know, I think what I'm looking forward to with this Howling Hops, I think we both had a very similar email from them, is that they've invited us down to their tank bar, which should be really interesting. I'm looking forward to going down. We haven't been in London. When was the last time we were in London together?
It was post GBBF, wasn't it? So maybe 4-5 years ago now, something like that. Yeah.
You announced the second day we were sitting in a bar somewhere in London, and you announced that you were going to have your first child, and I was like, so you should go put that.
So it'll be 4 years, I guess, nearly. But I mean, it's in kind of, so it's Hackney Wick, so there's a bunch of other places down there. So beer merchants taps down there as well, and a short overground journey, about 10 minutes. You can be at Verdant and Pressure Drops, kind of. It's the old Pressure Drop tap room. Well, they're old brewery, but it's like a tap room now, where they serve Verdant and Pressure Drop in the capital. Anyway, so shall we get this one open?
Shall we do it? Yes, let's do it.
I am going to use my designated Howling Hops Dimple Mug, even though it's not my preferred. It's not my preferred glass of choice. It's a high fill, which, as a Yorkshireman, I appreciate the value for money.
Do we have any comments, Rob? I can't see from my end.
I did notice one from Charles Dunn, so I will just pop on there for a second whilst we're faffing around. Yep. So we've got just to start off. We've got Charles Dunn says, "Evening to you both." We've got Mr. Hophead saying, "This was a pleasant surprise to you both, guys. Cheers." And then Richard Bennett, who was ribbing you earlier about if I were going to do some food matching with a Rissole. And he says he's drinking Boundaries Gift Imperial Stout.
Cool.
And I'll just crack through these, and then we'll come back to them periodically. And I've got Mel Vassamini. I mean, that's a guy who appears in your chat often. Good evening, gentlemen. Cheers. And I've got I've got a comment from the esteemed Mr. Lee Russell, but I might not share that one quite yet.
Oh, my best mate, my best mate. So where's the knife and fork?
And then we've got Craig over at Kent Beer Review saying, "Cheers, guys." And Craig's going to be doing a review later on about 9:30 with Jake. So keep your eyes open for that one. And then we've got Gold81, and they say, "Evening both. Love their tank system. Enjoy." So nice one. So
cool.
Beer in the glass. What have we got then?
Hazy. From my end, it looks like a lemon-coloured, straw-coloured beer. Nice, hazy looking beer. Yeah, that's really good.
Pale, hazy, yellowish kind of beer. Pure white foam on top. Kind of looks like lemon meringue pie in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I ain't got much of a head because these kind of glasses don't really go for that unless you got a tight sparkler and an ample. So, for this bit, because I'm a massive Pons, we've got a glass which is suitable for sniffing beer out of.
Yeah.
Which it certainly isn't. So, shall we check out the aroma?
Let's do it, Rob. Cheers. Oh, that's lovely.
It's really funny. From the dimple mug, I got a lot of kind of like quite a ratty, kind of hay sack, kind of hop sack kind of like aroma. I mean, do you know when you've obviously brewed many a beer commercially, and you know when you've got that, you've emptied that kind of like plastic bag of hops.
Oh,
I get that, and the kind of a resinous note on the big one, but on this one, I get a lot more fruit. I get a lot more pineapple on this, on the proper glass.
Amazing what a glass does at this stage of the review. Amazing what a glass does. I mean, if somebody's tuned into this review as a newcomer to beer, I was on a demonstration with. I think I was in Leeds with you.
Yeah.
With the glass demonstration. Yeah, and it made a massive, massive difference. There was a good bit of education there that day.
Yeah, I still hold on to that as a proving point of glassware making the difference.
Yeah.
In one of my reviews, I kind of explained my kind of relationship with the dimple mug. I mean, its intention is it's meant to last a long time. I mean, the average pub glass is meant to last like 300 uses. This will last like 4,000 because it's like a fucking like 7 millimeters worth of glass. It's a hefty weapon, if you'd like, as well. But you mean it's intended to have a lot of purpose, a lot of use out of it. This kind of stuff, it'll either get nicked before the end of the night, or will get broken before kind of like 11:30. So it's not the most suitable for kind of like a popular drinking establishment. But
no, exactly. I break mine in the dishwasher also. Mine just the stems break and the sides break. Yeah.
Mine mysteriously just go missing. I don't know what that's all about. Not pointing any fingers at anybody. Maybe at one point I even bought myself like a softer brush to clean on my fancy glasses. But then they were like, "I used to have two of these. Used to have one of these. Where are those IPA glasses gone? Completely vanished. I've never broken one." Anyway, that's my beef. Anyway, so I'm spitting feathers. So shall we dive in?
Yeah, very thirsty. Cheers, Rob.
That's lovely.
Yeah, really good. Really good. Clean, refreshing. Orange flavors coming through. I always pick up orange flavors.
Well, especially when it's fleshy blood orange, obviously. Absolutely getting that kind of like orange pith, without a doubt. I'd say I'm getting quite a lot of in the truest sense, because it's a funny situation I guess we find ourselves in the UK at the moment. Everything's very New England style, so sometimes bitterness is quite often kind of like forgotten, but this does have a nice kind of like drying kind of orange peel, orange pith kind of bite for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Dry, quite a little bit dry to begin with, and then super juicy, super refreshing, lovely. It's one of these beers, as I'm watching you now, You're either talking or you're drinking. It's one of them beers. You're either talking about the beer or you're drinking the beer very quickly, because it's just something you just want to kind of divulge, just get into it, and you find yourself stopping because you need to take a picture of the thumbnail. If you didn't, it would be gone. It's one of those beers, really.
Yeah, a lot of grapefruit. It's definitely on the kind of, for me, from the citrus side of things, it's definitely kind of lemon and grapefruit. Grapefruit kind of juices. Then a lot of peel, a lot of pith. Quite drying in that sense. There's a good amount of pineapple backing it up as well, so it don't get too sharp or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Pineapple chunks from a tin, would you say?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. That kind of like syrupiness from the malt in this case, the beer, but very drinkable, refreshing. It's quite dangerous. What did we say it was?
6.9.
6.9%. Wow. You could have a couple of those and yeah, you'd be looking for the hula hoops, wouldn't you?
Or the Doritos Heatwave. I've reviewed a couple of these, which will get released in the next couple of weeks. A couple of beers from Howling Hops, and one thing I do like about it is good amount of bitterness, always good amount of bitterness, really drinkable. The other ones I've had were kind of low ABV, but 330s, not enough 330, especially in the UK. Everything's a 400 and a 500, 440 and a 500.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just feel a bit like I don't want that much beer. I like to drink a lot of variety, as you do. But I like to. I don't feel like if I have to have 3 beers in the night, I've got to drink 3 440s. It just sometimes feels like it's a bit too much.
I feel exactly the same way. I like a big 440, especially if you don't have much beer in the house. It's nice to have a couple of 440s, but sometimes you're inundated as you are as a reviewer, and like a few.
Yeah, you get sent out of beer. You don't get sent out.
An ideal for reviewing. Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. A very good point. It's enough, isn't it? It's enough at 6.9% also.
That's. I mean, you do find, especially a lot of the higher ABV, a lot of double IPAs, and even some stouts in the UK now. They're in 440s. No, just put in a smaller package, and that everybody will be better off. But I imagine it'll be a little bit cheaper as well, because beer's getting stupidly expensive. But I'm sure these beers from Howling Hops are very competitively priced. I mean, one of the others, I don't know if you've had it yet. They actually did do a 440. I think they're doing kind of their more kind of like one-offs and kind of monthly specials and stuff. I think they're doing them in 440.
Yeah, there's something down there. There's a few cans down there which I've got to get into, because it's always great to drink these beers fresh straight away as soon as they come. What would you say in your eyes, Rob? What would you say the shelf life of something like this is? A super fresh, juicy IPA? Would you say a month?
I don't know. Possibly? It's a funny one, isn't it? I mean, I think once upon a time, when we first started doing this beer reviewing malarkey, when we'd get like beers from Stone in the UK, and if they were 6 weeks old, we thought we were onto a right winner. We're like, got some Stone. It's still within the drink by date, which was a rarity a lot of the time. And but now we're freshness is because we're making such great beer in the UK, especially a lot of IPA. It's easy to get stuff which is just days old, and so sometimes wow, I think for a lot of beers now in the UK, I'd probably be a little bit skeptical if I were picking up someone what was 6 weeks old now, just because there's so much, like every week, release after release after release. So it's hard to keep. So maybe that warps your expectations that of kind of that freshness is this kind of like really kind of paramount thing. I don't know. Are we victims of this kind of this situation?
You put a fantastic tweet out a few weeks ago covering this very subject. No, really, you had a lot of correspondence on it. A lot of people kind of engaging in it.
That's why I don't put much on Twitter anymore.
it was regarding something about £5 and over beers. It was something to do with. Are you done? I think it was. Are you done with it? I think that was the question on Twitter. Are you done with the kind of the so much of not so great beer at £5-6 a can? Was it something like that? I think the tweet went.
Yeah. There's that situation, I guess. I mean, there's a couple of things with that. I mean, breweries like Verdant who make incredible beer, but I mean, are often £7 plus. I mean, some of their double IPAs at the moment, where you can get something comparative from Cloudwater for between £5 and £6, which is a serious difference. Is that and they're massive. They're on this level. I mean, and this I'm being as diplomatic as possible. I mean, there are breweries in that top tier. Take your pick. I mean, it's Verdant, Cloudwater, Daya, Magic Rock, Northern Monk. I mean, they're the kind of like the ones what everybody gets, and they have really good breweries. Then there are kind of like a second tier, and with all due respect, who maybe don't have enough money, as much money behind them. Maybe they don't have as much kind of like history, so they don't have those kind of skills maybe in place. And I mean, and they make good beer, but they seem to price their stuff exactly the same as that top tier. I know I can roughly guess that I can count on those really good breweries delivering, even though at that price. If you're that second tier, if your beer's a bit inconsistent, something like that, but you're charging the same price, I don't think you can be realistically competitive. So you've got to maybe you bring your price down a little bit. I mean,
this very conversation with my local bottle shop. This very conversation, local bottle shop. He was buying the beer in. He's saying there's a few breweries out there now. I'm going to use a term. I hope we don't mind me using it. Winging it, if you like, winging it by charging Cloudwater for dance prices, but not being as great. There's a problem with that, isn't it? Because it's a very good subject to have, as it is craft beer. It's a very popular subject at the moment, and to have that top tier price point, it's quite. It's knowing what to buy, like you said in your tweet. It's knowing what's great and what's good.
And I mean, it's subjective as well, isn't it? But I mean, even when you're plonking down that hard earned cash, you mean, and so you kind of want to know that it's going to be good, because I think there is good beer and bad beer, and in between, and in the good section, there is beer that I like and beer that I don't like, and there's beer that someone else likes and I might not like, and that's fine. But I think sometimes there is actually bad beer, and just technically, not that I'm an expert on these things, but even people like me and you can be like, there's some problems there.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, totally. I've gone into drinking a lot of stouts and porters this time of year. I've been drinking a lot of IPAs, and then just to finish off, just when I'm in my local bottle shop, buying a stout or a porter. Have you gone down that line where I call it the finisher, the big finish, just a big old bottle of Imperial Stout in my cupboard.
On a Sunday, actually, it's something I do on a Sunday. I'll have a bigger Imperial Stout line on Sunday. My last beer on Sunday, big one, about 11 plus. Start at about 8:30, and that'll see me through till bedtime. But actually, before I started on today, because I didn't want to have an IPA before, because I didn't want to be clouded by the previous one that I had. So I actually had a black IPA from Pressure Drop, which was really nice, with pecan smoked orange zest and coriander, which was very nice, and that wood smoke came through really nicely. Actually, it wasn't peaty; it was just nice and smoky. And then the one what I've got the remnants of is Siren's strawberry praline, which is strawberry and hazelnut beer, which is a cracker. Absolutely stunning beer is that. Relatively lowish ABV, it's about 6, 7. So session strength really. So I didn't want to have anything kind of pale and hoppy before I completely neutral, and it's lovely actually. It's a really nice beer, and maybe it's, I guess, in that kind of the kind of, if you can see past the pun, that in the haze of all the IPAs out there, I think it's easy to overlook a brewery like Howling Hops because they are more seen as a bar in a lot of ways. Maybe not as available, as especially up north anyway, and probably over in Wales. Not as available, but also, but I'm sure in London I'm sure it's all over the place. But it's definitely a place that people go to drink. I mean, and my experience there was really nice as well, and I'm definitely try this. I don't remember this being on. I presume it's their kind of one of their core beers.
I really want to go.
We should like house wine, don't you? So it's the house IPA.
To go down and say hello to these people. We haven't had a trip in London for years. I'm sure since 4 years, I'm sure there's probably 20 bars open since the last time we were booked together. That's bonkers.
Times that by 3, and you might be close.
Really?
Oh it's unbelievable. It's London. Yeah, it's unrelenting. So I've got a couple more comments. We'll just kind of like jump onto them. Is saying so. Richard Bennett, we've got a few from him. He says, I need a trip to Barry to buy some fleshy blood oranges. And Charles Dunn says, I agree with Rob, as you get older, ! Some of the green beer can be too fresh. Then Richard chimes in again saying, give beer a couple of weeks, I say. It can be too early. Yeah. But that brings me to a point I saw earlier on Facebook that Oakham were kind of pushing their beer as cask aged. I quizzed them on it, and because they said they cask age their beers for 6 weeks. So I asked them, so you package it, you rack it to cask, and leave it in there for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
I was quite surprised in this world of freshness. I was quite surprised by that.
What was their reply to you? Was it did they just keep dry hopping it, or
they haven't replied, so maybe they will.
Remember the days when Oakham was like Oakham Citra was everybody was talking about Oakham Citra, and things changed so much in the beer industry.
It's still good beer, but I was just surprised by 6 weeks. 6 weeks before it goes out. Oh. Whatever. A couple more comments. We've got I got Peter the Clueless Drinker says, hello chaps, nice to see you both on the tubes together again. And then we've got Matthew Steifoff, hello again. Been a while. He says, Rob, long time no speak. Can we have a hot curry review from you soon? Maybe not.
Go on,
maybe not.
Go on.
No. That's one thing that I'm. Yeah, you can have the review of the my nocturnal kind of like problems as well. My guts rumble and my ass turns to fire as well. Right, that's the trade-off, man. That's the trade-off. You watch me eating curry and then you suffer the consequences. And then I presume that's I think that's my mate Charles, who you met at Daya. And he says,
what a lovely guy. Lovely guy.
I think it's Charles. Anyway, it says CE to stain, so I'm presuming that's Charles. It says fleshy lemon over fleshy orange for me. Yeah. And then we've got Cassie Abrams says, yo, Rob, and then put a little picture of a dog. Don't know what that means. Richard Bennett says, citric can be too harsh sometimes. Oh. Okay, fair enough. So I guess they're leaving it. That's another thing I've got an issue with beers like Citra. We'll get onto that anyway. And then we've got Dr. Kelso saying, bad from Norway here. Cheers, fellas. Any chance Simon would flip his camera to horizontal?
How's that? Does that
work?
That better? Is that better?
Yeah. You get a nice shot of your tap.
Yeah, that's. There we go.
And then Stu 1974. That's Steve Wells, isn't it? Who was been a long time kind of watcher and contributor on both our channels from answers. Hello, Jen. So thank you very much for everyone joining us this evening. So I guess what everybody's wondering at this point of the review is, what was Simon food match with this? Is it pizza pockets? Is it microwavable sausages and gravy?
Some Lucky Charms.
Some Lucky Charms. Blimey, eh? He's got his posh cereal. I've never bought it because it's always too expensive. Got his Lucky Charms.
My kids.
Got his Lucky Charms out.
They were in B&M. B&M, that new store was like springing up everywhere. So I just, my kids were like, "Whoa, can I have that, Dad?" And I was like, "What is it?" "Oh, it's Lucky Charms." I was like, "No idea."
It's American. It's an American thing, into So Lucky Charms would be your food match for this.
Have you tried the new Pringles rice fusion things in the supermarkets?
I've not, no.
Very quickly. I know it's a beer channel.
No, I don't mind that. That's why I asked you. Everybody's dying to know.
I really want you to try them. They're £1 in Morrison's at the moment. The Malaysian red curry flavour. Because they're made with rice and they got a certain curry powder on it. It's like having curry, rice and chips in a tray.
Oh, right.
It's really good. Really good. And you just sit there drinking your beer and eating a weird curry rice and chip flavour crisp.
As long as it's not a steamed suet pudding. Because if anybody brings Simon a steamed pudding, he just gets completely baffled by the very concept of it.
That was really complicated. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I had to steam a pie on the oven, but it was really good. Really good. Oh, but much better than a pie that you put in the oven and you just dry out, and just to keep it moist in the steam was amazing.
I think you need to make yourself a steamed pudding, so you can get your head around what the concept of a steamed pudding is. It's not a pie; it's a steamed pudding.
I had a lot of comments. Yeah,
I know. It's hilarious. It's like, what's wrong with it? It's not a pie. It isn't. It's a steamed pudding. So we've got a couple more comments. And Chaswell says, "Loads better, Simon." And Richard Bennett says, "Relieve that tap isn't a northern slang." Oh well, there you go. Cassie Abramson, Lucky Charms with breakfast stout. There's an idea. There's an idea for you. Lucky Charms and breakfast stout.
Oh, poor Nat. Yeah, that could be an idea.
Well, you did recently. You did the thing. You think you did the Oreo kind of snack things.
Do you know the Crave? I've never tried it myself, but I went to the supermarket the next day, and they sell this because a lot of comments about this stuff tasting like the Crave cereal, and I went to the supermarket, and then they had this Crave pillow chocolate things that you pour milk on, and a lot of people were saying it's a rip-off of. It's just you eat them dry. It's the same thing essentially. So I just thought, right, I'll put them in the beer and pour beer over them. It was really good. I've never been that drunk in the morning before.
Was that actually breakfast time then?
It was 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Morning beers. Yeah. The comments coming thick and fast. So I'll keep relaying them. Thomas McCarthy says, "Hi Tom, how you doing, mate?" I'm sorry, just going to let on my phone. Richard Bennett said, "So it was a classic." And then Dr. Kelso says, "Esteemed pudding." Esteemed with an E.
Esteemed pudding. Yeah.
And then, sorry, I'm just putting these cards in. I'm not kind of oddly.
Can I ask you, Rob, as a Yorkshireman, is it a very Yorkshire thing then to steam a pudding? Is it, or is it? Why am I so unaware of steaming pudding?
Sorry, I've just turned my computer on and now I've gone. I look like I'm in an Italian salon. It's just suet. Suet. What is suet? It's kind of, there's a lot of lard and stuff in it, isn't there, in suet? But essentially, it's kind of claggy and fatty and
yeah.
You should make yourself one. You'll get to the bottom of the idea of what a suet pudding is. That's better.
Middle of January food, isn't it? middle of
Absolutely,
January.
yeah. Hearty, robust.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then CE to stain. I'm sure, Charles, if that's you, mate, tell me if it is you, because if not, I'm just been a numpty. There's Reese's Pieces in a bowl of Yellow Belly. Oh, come on now. That'll be quite indulgent, especially for breakfast. And then we've got, who's that? Something called Hello. Just called Hello. It says, have you seen the Thornbridge new beers in Tesco, a pink grapefruit IPA and a double IPA, both 7% in 40 cans. Have you seen them? I've not seen them myself.
I've not been out, Rob, but it's really reviewing beers like that. I'm not sure. They probably, I would guess, at about £3 a can, I'd imagine. They'll be pretty decent.
Yeah.
I think it's like we talked about a little bit earlier on. Great beer and then good beer at affordable prices. That sort of beer review will go down a treat, an absolute treat with a lot of people. A lot of people will want to see people like myself and yourself reviewing that beer because it's just so hands-on. And I think by now, especially yourself, you're a trusted reviewer. People will come to you because they know you're going to be very honest with a beer. You will value it like £3 compared to how many ABVs and how many hops, and is it worth that £3 rather than that £7 beer? Is it worth that £7? Do you know what? It economies of scale, if you like. So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to really, get out there, and maybe that could be our next live video. Maybe next week we could plug ourselves here.
Ah, nice idea.
Come on my channel. We'll do it on my channel if you like, and we'll pick up these beers from Tesco. It's probably the extra store, I imagine, the larger store, and we'll. You can watch our opinion here if you like.
No, that'd be good. That's a good idea. I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't aware of that happening. So that's
me neither. They just kind of like pop up these days, beers, don't they?
Absolutely, yes. So that's from Hello. So thank you very much, Hello. His avatar is William Churchill, giving you one of them.
Oh yes, I know. Yes. I watched the movie. He did it by accident, didn't he? Apparently, but never mind.
So and then Charles Dunn says eating Pringles, rice fusion, Peking duck with hoisin sauce flavors, great with beer. Mr. Code says use suet for dumplings as well. Absolutely, certainly do. And then yes, so it is Charles. So yes, thank you very much for tuning in, buddy. And Cassie Abram says suet is the raw hard fat of beef or mutton found around the loins or kidneys. Oh, there you go.
There we are. That's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
It sounds revolting, doesn't it? On paper, it sounds revolting, but it's a thing of beauty, really. And then we've got Charles says suet pudding is a northern thing. Is it really? Don't blame us for all the terrible kind of things that you put in your body, like tripe and things like that. Well, we take what we can get. Take what we can get up here, I tell you. Then Dutch Kelso says, I enjoy a pint of Guinness, but would like more flavour, a bit more punch. Suggestions, that's a good one. And we'll come back to that in a second. I'll just read out the last comment. Richard Bennett says, that reminds me, thanks, Rob, for informing me why Jaipur is so different in cask. Okay. All right. Well, that's okay. Thank you very much. All right. That was probably more down to my mates over at Opinions podcast because they did a live chat. They did a live thing at peak end of last year with a bunch of the guys from Thornbridge, and they talked about the whole that thing. It's essentially a different beer. They use different yeast and stuff. Essentially, Thornbridge and cask uses a different yeast to the Thornbridge in keg and bottle and can. Which is really remarkable. Yeah, it's crazy. Probably, I bet the hopping regime's a little bit different. Well, just it's you use more of a British ale yeast in the cask, and then a clean American ale yeast for the packaged stuff. So yeah, it's a lot crisper and cleaner. So the cask's always better, if you ask me. I'm not a big Jaipur fan, I'll put it say. But yes, so as Dr. Kelso says, Richard says he prefers cask. So Dr. Kelso was asking he likes pint of Guinness, but would like more flavour and a bit more punch. So suggestions
for a stout. It's funny stout, isn't it, Rob? You could probably rattle off a million IPAs that you've tried. I always get blanked by this. My brain goes blank at this question. Stouts. Well, Richard Bennett's on. His stout is Storm, Winter Storm or something. His stout is fantastic on cask. The trouble is, it's in South Wales. It's in Swansea. It's getting it around the UK. That's going to be a bit of trouble. But a really good stout from a brewery. Can you think of one? My mind, I drink them all the time, but my mind just goes blank.
I guess you're thinking, you're looking at kind of supermarket brands. What's out there? I mean, my local supermarket's terrible, but Brewdog's Jet Black Art is not a bad beer. I mean, and I don't think the cans are. I don't think the cans are nitro, but I mean that's a solid milk stout. Is Jet Black Art. It's not bad. If you're going a little bit more craft, I mean, as I'm drinking a Siren beer, Siren Broken Dreams is a great beer. That's coffee. That's a breakfast stout, so coffee, chocolate, oatmeal stout. Champion beer of Great Britain for last year as well. I mean, that's a great beer. Relatively easy to get hold of. Yeah, Richard Bennett's just said Slopian Polygraph, the great stout. And then Thomas McCarthy says O'Hara stout. So if you're in Ireland, yeah, that's a bigger brand. They are getting low. Yeah. So it's a Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews popped up as well. And he says Wiping Through Milkshake.
Dean, how we doing?
And Richard says Tiny Rebel Stay Puff. Yeah, so along those kind of like more kind of crafty, but like maybe more findable. Obviously, Stay Puft is good beer. I'm a big fan of Magic Rock Common Grounds. That's a porter. What you mean?
Yes.
I love that beer. That's
perfect yourself.
Yeah, that's a stunning beer. So I think as far as the supermarket goes, I don't think there's a hell of a lot. I think the supermarket's often edged towards paler beers a lot of the time. You get some dark beers, not many really. A lot of ones in my supermarket. I don't know about you. I've only been just slightly over the border. My brother lives just slightly over the border in Wales, and they did have a Barry Island IPA in where they had a couple of brains stuff there. So, but like over my way, the dark beers you'll get will be like beers like Acorn, Old Moor Porter. Somebody's just put Bad Kitty from Rascastle as well. You mean that's another one what you'll probably get.
Yeah.
Fuller's, Craig just said Fuller's Black Cab Stout. Obviously, Fuller's London Porter. That's another stunner. Probably, So Black Cab Stout, London Porter, quite easily available in supermarkets. Great beers.
Have you tried the Brewdog versus Northern Monk? The Tokyo
Death.
Have you tried it? I found it.
I've not. I heard incredible things about it, but it was really expensive. So
but for me, and I don't mind being live about that. I don't mind talking about it. I get sent quite a lot of beer. I drink a lot of the beer that's sent to me. I really appreciate the beer that comes my way. When I go to bars and bottle shops, it's a privilege. It's a privilege to kind of go, right, okay, I'm going to review the beers that I want to review now. I'm going to buy the beers I really want to review. So I'll spend out a little bit. And I bought one of them I think it was about £9.50, but it was really worth it. It was a fantastic. It was about 14%, but it held it wasn't boozy at all. It was just a really good start. I think you should give it a go, Rob. I really do. I think.
I've got a friend who'll probably bring over a couple of bottles if I.
Yeah, totally.
I think he's an Equity Punk kind of like shareholder, so I think he bought a few. He's got a tendency to buy more than one, so that's no bad thing. Just looking here, so Dr. Kelso, who asked that question, said he didn't necessarily mean supermarket beers, but so you've got a good amount of kind of the relatively easily findable kind of lowish ABV stouts there. So we mentioned, Bad Kitty from Brasscastle, a couple from Fuller's, Staple from Tiny Rebel, O'Hara Stout in Ireland. Up in Polygraph, you might not see unless you're in that kind of part of the world, but as a common ground, quite easy to get hold of.
Do you know what I think, Rob? I think maybe a bit of advice, maybe to go on one of the bottle shop, maybe beer merchants or Beers of Europe, and there's filters down the left-hand side of their website or top or whatever. You can choose stout in the filter, and you can choose whatever country you want it from. So maybe try an online bottle shop and click a few filters, what style you want, and
I definitely suggest using Honest Brew, using the discount code. I can't remember our discount code. It changed recently. Go look on Good Beer Live, the most recent thing, and use our discount code. I mean,
Honest Brew, of course, yeah.
I know where my bread is buttered. But yeah,
totally.
So we had a few others, and so we had French House Beer Reviews who appears on our Facebook group. So hello there.
Yeah.
How are you doing? And then Charlton says Vocations breakfast stout in Tesco's. So obviously the
waffle. Have you tried that one?
Yes. Yeah, I've had it a few times. Yeah,
really good. I really enjoyed that for the price. That keeping that mentality of it's £3.50 in your head for that money, I thought it was terrific. Absolutely terrific.
Yeah, I mean, talking of Vocation, I mean, obviously you've not been up our way for a couple of years. Yeah, Vocation opened a big bar in Leeds. So they've got a bar selling with 50 taps. Cool. 50 taps and like 7 like street food vendors in there and stuff. It's great. It's a really good bar. Anyways, it's called Assembly Underground. So it's silly stuff. You've got a couple more. Richard Bennett says Tokyo Def is worth it. I will take your recommendation on that. Dr. Kelso says cheers. Charles Dunn says Rob, try radbeer.com. I'm familiar with Radbeer. They have it in stock. Oh, the Brewdog one. All right, okay. I can pop it. I think I can pop into the Brewdog bar and probably buy that. But if you're going to buy online, I'd strongly suggest go down honestbrew.co.uk.
Of course. Get it.
I mean, it's knee-jerk reaction doing live videos that we're always promoting Honest Brew on those.
You have to. It's part of the
but obviously we're not drinking that at the moment. We are drinking. I've still got a little bit, just a smidgen of this. But I've been sipping on my Siren one while we're talking about dark beer. I think drinking dark beer seems suitable. So another comment. I mean, everybody wants to talk about stouts. Cassie Abrams says Kea from Brew York, Adana Leaf, coconut coffee milk stout. Yes, it's very nice. I've done a review of that. If you've not watched it, get over on HopZine and check that out. Yeah, it's a nice beer. I think Brew York do some. That's it. They excel with their dark beers and their kind of low ABV sours. Not big fan of their pale beers.
What's the stout, Rob? The Imperial Stout.
Well, Tom Coco's their.
Yes, that's it. The Tom Coco.
Brilliant. Imperial Tom Coco, then Empress Tom Coco. So there's different layers of that. But yeah, no, I think they do some really lovely dark beers to Brew York. I work in York, so it's everywhere. It's everywhere I turn. Or maybe I just go in a lot of beer places. It's probably more likely. Something.
The internet closes everything together. It's a nice thing. You were talking about Brew York. I never see Brew York down here in Wales. I've never seen it in a bottle shop or a bar. But equally, I'm really proud to say this. Richard Bennett, who's watching, Brewdog Cardiff was stocking Richard's beers, and I was like, oh, that's amazing, a really amazing thing. They had a couple of his beers in the chiller, in the fridges that they got these days, and yeah, fantastic, brilliant. But it just shows that the internet, even though beer's still quite local, like you see Brew York everywhere, I don't. The internet kind of closes that gap, doesn't it? With conversations like this, I'm in Wales, you're in Yorkshire. Brilliant.
Yeah, Brewdog started this new initiative where they're going to always have some local beers on. They started the weekend with a bunch of us. When we actually met up at Daya, the night before we'd been in Brewdog in Birmingham, and they had a bunch of beers from Glasshouse and Burning Soul, who were fantastic Birmingham-based breweries. So I think Brewdog are making a bit of a push on showcasing the other local breweries.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So you didn't get invited on the flight then?
No, another channel did.
Yeah, I didn't either. I had an interesting open-ended message from someone saying, "Oh, what's your email address?" I thought, hang on,
Yeah. You're gonna go on the flight.
I didn't. No. I saw some other familiar faces on Brad's video, but yeah, I think God bless him for drinking all that punk. I don't think I could drink it all.
I'm not gonna, exactly that, and that's not us being put out by it. That's us being completely honest. For me, Brewdogs, I'm just going to be honest. I hope you don't mind me being a bit honest here on your channel. They promote themselves as being kind of very front-footed, opening hotels and airlines and sour brewing facilities. But when it comes to actual looking at the blogging community, they just go towards the kind of the traditional book writers and it's like,
yeah. I saw Adrian Turney Jones on the video.
How updated are you, really? I mean, anyway, it doesn't matter to me. I'm sure it doesn't matter to you. I'm sure.
No,
it's a couple of more nights.
I wouldn't have turned down a free trip to America, but it sounded a bit mental, didn't it? Have you watched the Brad's video?
No, I don't.
Well, the thing is, so the toilets were filled like 2 hours before the end of the flight.
I heard.
So that's just. I'm glad I wasn't on that flight.
Yeah,
drinking for like 6 hours, and then we can't go to the toilet anymore. That would be quite rough. But yeah. I mean, that's just one of those things. But no, not at all. I mean, I love what Brad and Johnny do. I mean, I'm a firm supporter of them. Anyway, got a couple more comments, mainly from Richard Bennett. He's clearly not got anything better to do this evening. He said we've had Brew York at Beer Riff.
Oh, that's a lovely bar, Beer Riff, down in it's on Swansea Marina, south-facing, glass-fronted bar. Amazing what they're doing down there. They got some wonderful brewers as well, brewing some great beer. But we were going to talk about fly my drone across Swansea Bay.
Oh yeah,
they're going to open the big brewing doors, so we fly across the bay and fly straight into the brewery. But we haven't got around to it yet. But I'm sure we'll do it soon.
Do you need to have like police clearance to do that? Somewhere? I want to see you getting arrested.
I haven't
for illegally wrestled to the floor, arms behind your back. That's when you finally go viral, Simon.
Keep pushing, keep trying. I'm going to dash to the little boys' room. You all right to hold the string for a moment?
I can fill in. Absolutely. So Richard also just said, have you tasted opaque Jake? That's why. I've no idea what opaque Jake means, Richard. So yeah. So thank you very much. As I was saying earlier, at 9:30, a couple of our fellow UK beer tubers, Jake over at Jake Beer and Craig at Kent Beer Reviews, I think they're doing a review of Fuller's Imperial Stout. I think it's set for 9:30. We'll be done. We'll be done before then. Peter, the Clueless Drinker, has just commented. So if you've not checked out Peter's channel, you really should. I think it's fantastic. Saying drinking IPA Reserve a lime. A boss. Is it because I'm a boss? Maybe lime a boss? I'm a boss. Who knows it? You're really drinking Green King IPA, Peter? Have you run out of Mikkeller beers? Is that why? Richard Bennett. Oh, so Richard. So it's the Brewdog's New England IPA. I go to Brewdog bars once in a while. I've got no issues with Brewdog. I was trying to get James Watt to give me one of those offensive T-shirts, and the one about kind of like I think I don't know if you saw them. You should. If you haven't seen them, they're really funny. So it was all kind of like internet-based comments about Brewdog bars, and all the staff are going to have them on the back of the T-shirts. And one of them was A brewdog bar is pretty much like if Scientology got into crowdfunding and brewing. I thought, yeah, I'm on board with that. There's some really well picked out kind of like brewdog kind of slights. Which, but I mean, that's it. Own it. Own the grief, own the hassle from all the trolls online. I give brewdog a load of shit in the past, so I'm not above that. But yeah, so if anybody's Simon's having a piss, tell me what you're drinking. Tell me what's been good recently. That's always important. As I said, I'm drinking strawberry praline from Siren in a brewdog glass. I know it's a cheap beer glass. What can I say? And I do have, depending on how much longer me and Simon last, I do have another can of, which I might open actually quite soon. Another can from Howling Hops. I've got a load of beer in at the moment. It's just been one of those weeks where, actually 2 weeks, I've not really been in that much. I've been drinking out, so I've not been had the opportunity to drink much in. So yeah, we've got a couple of things. So right, so we should just these two last couple of comments. People seeing what they're drinking. Charles, who you should go over to Beers Without Frontiers, which is a fantastic podcast about the Midlands beer scene. And he says, Lockapolly, yeah, because he was on one of your review of one of the day beers, wasn't it?
Double IPA was, yeah.
Exactly.
Citra, what was the Citra something?
Was it?
Part of their series, Citra something, part of their series of double IPAs. They change the hop every month.
Was he inviting me for the microphone? Might be. Good shit anyway, it's all good, isn't it?
Like did you hear the story? I
think I heard what happened. What happened at the end of that day, but I didn't get the full. If you want to elaborate, you're welcome.
I woke up in Newport. I must have fell asleep as soon as I got on the train. I must have fell asleep. I woke up in Newport with a sandwich hanging out my mouth.
Quality. Classic Simon.
Fell asleep with a sandwich hanging. Never mind.
But it was a fantastic day. I mean, a day. Yeah, it was fantastic. The beer was just incredible. I mean, later that night we had a bunch of American beer from like Treehouse and Trillium, and we were all going, yeah, they were better than this. So I mean, we're doing some amazing stuff in the UK. I'd say, I was saying to, I commented on one of Peter the Master of Hoppets videos the other day, saying, I'd say outside of America, we've probably got the most interesting kind of progressive beer scene in the world. Go back 4 years, I think a lot of us were looking at Denmark and places like that.
Yes, we were.
I think the UK is definitely where it's at. I mean, if you look on Mikkela's online shop, it's continuously putting up beers from Lockapolly and Wylam and Magic Rock and Northern Monk and North Brewing, Cloudwater, I mean Verdant. They're all on there, and that's what they're putting on. Probably more than they're putting on American beers these days.
I've never had a Lockapolly beer. We're from the same country. Never had.
It's quite a long way away, aren't they? Quite north.
I think they're North Wales. Yeah. Never had
mold.
Amazing, yeah, mold. And they used to have a great football team mold years ago. I know that, but apart from, they just must have. Have you tried any of their beer? Is it outstanding? Is
Well, interestingly, I mean, Charles was commenting, and he had one of their beers called Souvenirs, and he said he poured it away. I had one at the start of the week called Spur, and that was absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. Best beer I've had from them by a long shot. One of the best IPAs I've had in a while. That was stunning. I think they're still a bit up and down. I think they're getting better. That's unfortunate. That you saved me probably about £6 there, Charles. So I appreciate that. Just a couple more comments before we continue. I'm probably going to pour another beer in a minute. So Dean from Dean's Beer Review says, on Neon Raptor Jaffa Cake Stout. Dean, last time I saw somebody drinking that was Stuart Pickard last Thursday up at my local bottle shop, and he was pissed out of his face. He got on his bike, and then he went about 2 meters, and he fell off. He was massively pissed out of his face. But that was the last beer that Stuart had that night. He was soldiering through it, drinking out of a very small glass, which was about this big. It was very like a tankard, but very like this big. You know, Stuart, he's a lunatic. Then yes, and Charles says he switched to Magic Rock Growers Owned, which is this year. I think that's one of the best beers I've had in so far this year. I thought it was absolutely cracking. And then Steve Wells says, anyone an XL either day a t-shirt here to send for me too big? Yes, this guy over here, as long as it's not one of the pink ones. When I went to Daya, they sold out of all the respectable sizes. In the kind of, all the respectable colours, and they had like yellow and pink left by the time I'm going to leave. So I think, so yeah, feel free to contact me. I'm not going to turn down a Daya t-shirt. Boom, boom. Richard Bennett says, Lockapolly, the Welsh Verdant, a lot of their beers too similar. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. I'm going to get on to that in a minute. Talk about core range. It's pink. I'm all right with it. I'm all right. I can live without a pink t-shirt. Thank you for the offer. Can you imagine me in a pink t-shirt? It's not like some distance, some big fat naked guy. You don't need that. Don't need it, but thank you very much. No worries. No worries. And then he also says, Lockapolly beers I've had seem a bit harsh. The ones I had was in the early days seemed a bit homebrewy, to be honest. But I mean, Spur is absolutely cracking. I've been told that Rosa, Stuart said that was like probably the best beer he's had this year. So we'll see. And Charles, on the topic of Lockapolly, says Lockapolly Souvenir was smoky, astringent, burnt rubber, harsh, maybe a bad can. Well, puts me off to a certain degree. I trust your taste. And Dean says, we get shit at politics, but we can hold our heads up high regarding beer that's coming out of the UK. Absolutely. All right, so hop hash. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think they're up and down. But yeah, I thought Lockapolly's Spur was absolutely.
I'm going to get some. Good. I'm going to go for some.
Yeah, you should invite yourself up there. Get up and see him, drink some beer. Welsh Verdant, as Richard said. I'm just gonna open this. I'll give you. I feel like I should give you a quick kind of review of sorts.
Yeah, go for it. Rob, what have you got?
It's not a clean glass, so it might be a slightly more hoppy version of this. I'll show you in a minute. But just keep me lubricated. So it's Das Kulsch, which is also from Howling Hops. So it's their lager beer. 4.6% ABV, so I thought that'd be a good opportunity to crack this one open. So, as you can see,
yeah, absolutely,
looks like lager, doesn't it? Oh, that's nice. Kind of lemon. It smells like if you're a bit posh, like Simon, and you've got a Waitrose nearby, even though he's closing down. Which is the weirdest thing. Waitrose closing down. That's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, there are these kind of little. I forgot what they're called. The little lemon case in the shape of a shell. It's for all you middle class wankers out there, like myself.
Oh,
I don't know what they're called, but the tiny little things come in a white and red bag. But essentially, think lemon drizzle cake if you're gonna be non-specific. Yeah. I'm getting a bit of that on the nose, but it kind of smells kind of lemony, lovely. Kind of. I'm not above enjoying a lager. I'm just saying I couldn't go to a festival just about lager.
Oh, do you know, I made a video just yesterday, and I was talking about going full circle. Like somehow now, I found myself going on Beers of Europe's website. I've ordered the beers for the month, and I've gone for Kolsch's, and I've gone for Weiss beer. I've gone Weiss beer mad. Dunkel Weiss beer. And it never used to be like that. It always used to be about hoppy beer. I don't know if I've hopped myself out. I'm really kind of wondering. You can never get enough hops. I love hops. But at the moment, I'm really enjoying Weiss beer. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Mm. Well, this is lovely. I mean, this is really nicely made, really nice and clean and crisp, as you'd hope for. A little bit of lemon, a little bit of lime, a little bit of it's a bit more that kind of sweetness of like lemon drizzle cake. But I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. Yeah, on that point,
All
see
the
for
brewers.
me, see for me,
I
it's kind of I'm kind of maybe a little bit more nowadays attracted to core range stuff because
yeah,
it's a lot of time, a lot cheaper. You can kind of like supplement your fancy shit. I've got too much fancy shit at the moment. I bought a load this week. It turned out the entertainment of buying beer more than drinking it. So I've got a bunch of like 440s of like IPAs at the moment. But I do like kind of core range kind of beers. I'm getting a lot more into. I mean, for me, Transmission from North Brewing, which is I can be off the train and in their bar in Leeds in 6 minutes, and I can grab a can for £2.50, uber fresh kind of the like core range IPA. And it's a great beer. I love Verdant Headband. I mean, I know it's Verdant, but it's a little bit cheaper than it's like half price of their kind of double IPAs. I think that's a great beer. I said I love Common Grounds from Magic Rock. So I do kind of like kind of core ranges at the moment. As far as like the kind of as you were saying with more kind of traditional kind of stuff. One that caught my eye the other day was Augustina's Dunkel. Because I've never had it, and I love a Dunkel. I've not had a Dunkel in ages, and it was like £2.84 for a 500ml bottle. And I thought that's a good deal.
Yeah, get hold of that. And of course, I've mentioned it on my channel quite a lot, as being beer reviewers on YouTube, which is the second largest search engine in the world, you can find yourself very quickly in the hamster's wheel, can you? Chasing the monthly releases that disappear after a month and never to be found again. If you review core range stuff, it's always there. It's always searchable. I'm not saying that's the biggest reason to drink core range beer, but it's. I think you know.
As a beer reviewer, I mean, it does kind of add longevity, and it's actually, I guess, it's more useful in that sense. I've got. I mean, I'll as people may notice. It seems like it's the same fucking breweries every week on my channel, but just because like some of them are just super easy for me to get, and it's what I want to drink, so I'll buy what I want to drink. So you'll get a lot of kind of North stuff on my channel, but I do kind of aware that it's like, you're just getting the latest North Brewing beer. So I think it's good to kind of reflect kind of like what's current. But I mean, I appreciate that. You mean it's good to have a bit of kind of, it's useful. If you're putting a review out of like Oakham Citra, it's not going to disappear anytime soon, is it? I mean, and a lot of people will potentially find that useful, whether they like the sound of it or not. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Exactly that. I mean, stuff like the old stuff, like Fuller's London Pride, it just keeps going and going. It'll have a few hundred views every single month, and it picks me up maybe 20 subscribers every quarter. It's just that it's like you picked up the gear, you're walking along the road with it, and then you put it into the clock, and then it's in the clock and it's winding round forever, if you know what I mean. It's doing its. You put it and it's doing its job.
Yeah.
I love. I
don't have enough of them.
I love the super fresh, trendy, because it's really exciting. It's really exciting to get hold of it and review it. But you just find I'll spend 2 hours a day looking at my stats on YouTube. Once that beer's been discontinued, you can't find it anymore. The views go along nicely, and then they just drop off. They just completely, because people forget about that beer the moment it's gone. I think, and because the next new thing is out.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, just on that. I mean, as just popped to this, Peter the Clues Drinker says that was a beautiful metaphor, Simon.
Yeah. dragging the. I mean, there's 3 beer reviewers watching tonight. We got Peter, the clueless drinker, Rob, myself. It's a bit like dragging a cog along the road.
Craig's round there. Dean's on the. I think. Who else we got on there? We've got fucking loads of them.
My apologies for the.
No, I don't think Lee Russell doesn't review beer anymore. He's made that very clear. Yeah, we've got a bunch of guys, haven't we, on here?
I want to mention Lee for a moment. I've unblocked Lee from not commenting on my channel anymore. I hope everything's done and dusted and there's no problems. I've got no problems with Lee.
Don't bring that shit up on my channel, all right? Yeah, you fucking dirty laundry on my channel.
He's got no problem. I've got no problem with Lee. I've got no problem with Lee.
Nothing to see.
Yeah, we'll move on. Anyway, you can comment if you like on my channel now.
I was going to say, we've got some more comments. So Steve Wells saying, we've got some cans from Little Bottle Shop in Bala, North Wales. Simon probably know to. Sorry, in Bala, North Wales, Simon would probably know to being a taff. Can't believe someone called you a taff online. It's horrendous. Horrendous
across the border.
I'm not doing it here. Anyway, Gold 81. I will come to your comment very shortly because it's something I want to talk about. Good point. And then so Peter Close Drinker says, I would always defend lager. I take all the credit for the resurgence of lagers. Peter, I completely credit you with the resurgence. It's nothing to do with Matt Curtis. It's nothing to do with Johnny Garrett. It's all about you, mate. I know that. The real people know that, Peter. And Sewell says, a recency effect wasn't bad. Magic Rock and Buxton, proper West Coast style double IPA. I thought it was okay. I don't know if I'd say it was. I don't know if I liked it as a old school kind of like West Coaster. The Buxton equivalent, I forgot, a primacy effect, I think it's called. I hated it. It's fucking horrible. And then Richard says, got on to Tiny Rebel Imperial Stay Puff, salted caramel marshmallow porter. Lovely. So yeah, they were up to date with comments. Thank you very much for the comments. And if anybody wants to ask any comments, questions, keep them bring it on, because yeah, I really appreciate the interaction. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So just finishing off my cog metaphor.
Sorry for interrupting your cog metaphor.
We pick up the beer.
Metaphor. Come on, I'll let you have that one.
We every night. This is a kitchen. I'm sure where you are, Rob, that's maybe a kid's playroom or something.
It's my own beer room.
Must be amazing. It's like I'm in my kitchen. It's like hell. It's like, oh, look at that.
The beer fridge is there. That's where it's down there. I've got some racking in there. I've got a bit of racking in there. That's where all my cellar beers are. So this is, as my little boy, who's 3 years old, calls it Daddy's secret room. He's not allowed down here. Not allowed down here. There's a gate at the top of it. Can't come down here. Too many breakable things.
Amazing. No, but like it's like for me, when I mentioned that dragging that cog along, putting it in place, it's like cleaning up, setting up tripods, cameras. We got to find the beer, research the beer, drink the beer, review, and then that even we haven't even started editing yet. There's editing, there's uploading, there's sharing on social media. There's a lot more than meets the eye. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot more that goes into it than
yeah.
There's a lot of work, and I'm only mentioning that because there's a lot of reviewers watching, and I'm sure they all feel the same pain.
It's much easier for me these days because I do it all from my phone. Edit, upload, all from my phone. It's much quicker. It's so much quicker. It used to take me like about 45 minutes to render the average video, and it looked like shit as well. It don't look like shit. It wasn't as good as it looks now. I don't know if people appreciate me in HD all that much, but I mean, That's what you've got to deal with it.
No, it's good quality. It's good quality.
Yes, so yeah, and as it will look slightly better in the future as well. Because my new stuff, I had many reviews on my new phone come out quite recently. There's only a couple. You might not really seen a hell of a lot of difference, but there's still some bits and bats hanging around. Anyway, so Steve Wells says, when is Simon going to visit James Watt? Lol.
It's about, I mean, it'd be nice. You can imagine seat A, seat B, and seat C. Me, Rob, and James on a flight to America.
James are good. They're friendly.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, maybe just B and C, seat B and C. I'll be on the corridor side of the seat.
You're next to the sweaty Scottish fella.
I'm sure one day. I follow YouTube massively. There's been a big push. I'm going to bring football into this very, very briefly. A lot of the big football teams in England now, Man United, Liverpool, who else? Arsenal. They're all pushing their YouTube channels on social media. They're picking up crazy amounts, like 500,000 subscribers a month. It's the change where everything becomes kind of mainstream will be when people realize YouTube is just the mainstream. And I think when all the advertising money comes from the television, from Sky and whatever, over to YouTube, that's when your James Watts will be, hello, Rob, how's it going? That type of thing, It's just us being patient, just doing what we're doing, uploading what we're doing, enjoying beer, and just being patient, because our time will come. I'm sure our time will come in the world.
I am honestly quite surprised that Simon's never been invited up to Brewdog. I've been twice, so I find it. Well, that's it.
I'm like
I'm quite surprised. I'm quite surprised I've never invited him. So let's go on there. So we've got Stu C. Says, evening guys, just had a Bucks and Mercia now on an Anarchy anti-venom. I don't know. I'm not sure what anti-venom is, but I am familiar with Mercia. It's low ABV fella. So just to round off the football thing, this is the end of it, Dr. Kelso. So the opinions on Solskjaer, please. No, Norway wants to know.
yeah.
He looked like a small child when he was a player, but I mean that's my opinion.
It's amazing what happened there. He was Cardiff City manager, and he was dreadful.
Oh, really?
Dreadful. Yeah, in the Premier League. Yeah, he got us relegated. He's worked wonders at Man United. But enough of that. I think football's. Yeah, you a Barnsley fan, Rob? Is that your
fair weather Sheffield Wednesday? My dad and my brother lifelong Barnsley fans, but yeah.
Okay, I remember something about Barnsley with yourself. Yeah, with your family.
That's not happened. And then Thomas McCarthy says, "Don't forget us when you make it big." That's aimed at you. Make it big.
What's your honest? What we're doing, Rob, here, plugging away. What's your honest view of it all? What from where you're sitting? Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's got to be a lot of fun. You wouldn't do it otherwise. But do you find it a bit like prospecting, like in the river with your pan?
No, it's nice. For me, it's. I think our afternoon at Daya. Unless people have seen the footage, there's additional footage on YouTube, but it's on a invitation only basis. You're never going to see all that shit.
Okay.
Madness that ensued until 3:00 in the morning. You're never going to see all that.
I got to see that.
You really don't. I don't even see it, and I was part of it. No, it's just terrible. Hopefully, no one ever sees it. We did start out trying to do like a live thing, but we were just all too drunk. Okay. No, it wasn't good. Anyway, there was singing and dancing. And people. I won't say naked, but there's like. I wasn't involved in the nakedness. I just let you know
Okay.
that. But some other people may have been partially undressed. It was ridiculous. Lots of fun weekend. Anyway, point being, our time at Daya, that encompasses everything that one means something to me about this whole thing. So that we've got so we met up in Birmingham, then on Saturday afternoon we went up to Daya in Cheltenham. So there were me, Stuart from Ginger Ale Trail, Jake from Jacob Beer, Peter the Clueless Drinker, Harry from Blue Nose Beer Reviews, Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, Simon came up from Wales, and then there were our friends from kind of the Birmingham area. So there were Simon, Charles, and Vicky from the from Beers Without Frontiers podcast, and we all met up at there. We're all there for the same reason. We're all kind of doing the same kind of like beery thing. We're all really into it. We're all kind of doing this kind of online media type kind of thing as well. So we've got a lot in common. But it's that community, it's that friendship. That for me is where it kind of that's my reason for continuing for fucking, I think it's 10 years this year. And that, I mean, that's the reason I continue in whatever kind of way it is. I'll still drink beer and I'll still enjoy it until it gets to the point where I choose not to. But then it would like with the channel. And I kind of like what Chris Stelz did. Chris Stelz just stopped. He didn't make a fuss out of it. He was the biggest one, most watched guy in the world, and he just stopped because he didn't want to make a fuss out of it. Life had changed, whatever. No one knows what happened in Chris's life. Maybe he just got bored of it. I think he was getting a bit bored of it, and he stopped. That's fine, and then just move on. And then somebody else appears, and the world keeps turning, whether we're here or not. So that's just how it is.
It's amazing, yeah, of course. And now since then, like you say, other channels have come along, and some of them are doing fantastically well.
Chris Stelz, he's at the top of the pile.
He really was. And I paid tribute to him in his last last beer review he did. I managed to get hold of a can, and I kind of come back. We all that type of thing. A bit like the Titanic.
No, that's just how it is. I mean, that's fine. That's good. There's always new people. Always new people discovering, and actually, I always find it entertaining when I meet new people because there's a bunch of my mates. Can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been Jake who started doing it, saying, I just started doing reviews of beer on YouTube, thinking, oh, no one else has ever done this. And then you start looking around and go, oh, yeah, there's a load of people doing it.
It's big, yeah.
Yeah, there's always a constant stream. I mean, in the UK, I think there's a load at the moment, and that reflects how kind of great our beer scene is at the moment.
Darwin, I think, for me, Darwin in New York, I think he's got the potential to become a really big beer reviewer. I'm not massive beer reviews. He seems to have a massive. He's going to do really well. Of course, there's people like yourself and lots of people in the UK.
I think Matt's great. I think Matt's beer reviews is great. I think he's a really cool guy as well. So.
Lovely guy, yeah.
Yes, and he started the whole kind of he's popularized the whole mystery beer thing, which is one of the most exciting things about BeerTube for me at the moment is doing mystery beers. Got a bunch of them still to post from our most recent meetup in Birmingham and stuff. So yeah, it's a nice little kind of element. It just kind of breathes a bit of life to this whole thing when it becomes a little bit formulaic. Mystery beers kind of change it all, put you to the test. Make you feel like a complete idiot when you're way off the mark and stuff. But it's fun. It's fun.
I upset Chad, our friend Chad. Chad's beer review. Remember Chad? I upset him by accident.
Don't your dirty washing. I've not upset Chad. You might have.
I had this button to press on YouTube. It was like we found copyrighted content on other people's channels, And I thought, all right, okay, just YouTube's found this stuff. I'll just press like go and save. And then within a day, he sending me this Facebook message saying you've like copyright strike one of my videos we did together. A bit like this now.
Yeah. I
was
did
like, no.
ago,
I'm gutted because it was like full as the SB. One of our back in 2011, and I did everything I could possibly do to get rid of this copyright strike. There was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing I could do. YouTube just took that video away, and all I did was push a button without looking at the 50. There was like 50 people who'd stolen my videos. They said.
I did one of those with Chad years ago. I can't remember who it was. Oh, blinded! And as if by
is he there? Is that Chad there?
No. It's Matt from Massive Beer Reviews. He's kind of.
Oh, hi, Matt.
How are you doing? Says my stolen mantra.
Really enjoy your channel. Really enjoy
it. he says my stolen mantra: often wrong, always confident.
Cheers.
My brother-in-law lives by that philosophy as well. Says you say something with enough conviction, people will believe you. Simon's built an entire channel on that bullshit anyway. So.
And so is Theresa May. She's going for the third vote. Enough about Brexit. We won't get anywhere near Brexit today, I don't think.
Just a couple more comments before we kind of wind this shit show up. As it should, as he's been a contributor to this chat this evening. Thank you, Richard. I need to get down to the Mumbles. Collab brew. Hey.
Amazing.
Brew,
come down. Yeah. Come down, that'd be fantastic.
I wonder whether it could be cross-pollination between you guys and Untapped. Hey, I'd be all over that. Yeah, I think they should be. Untapped have got a festival coming up. Obviously, review of many beers. Okay, yeah. I know what you mean. Good stuff. But yes, big thanks to everybody who's tuned in this evening. Everybody who's commented, that's been really good. I mean, interaction is incredible, so thank you very much. Thank you. Just at the end, so Matt from Massive Beer Reviews.
Yes.
At the end, a little cameo. And big thanks to all our fellow beer tubers who have been joining us and everybody who's commented. As I said earlier, please check out. I think Craig and Jake are going live in 5 minutes with their review of Fuller's Imperial Stout. I think it is. So I don't know if it's probably on Jake's channel. So Jake out beer. Don't get on his channel. Obviously, huge thank you to the YouTube icon that is Simon from the side. As we said earlier, if we can get those beers, we'll jump on here sometime next week. Those Thornbridge beers. We'll do a bit more of this again. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much, Simon. I appreciate you spending a bit of your Friday evening on my channel and drinking some beer.
Perfect. So I'm going to finish that off by saying, go to your local Tesco Extra if you have one nearby. Pick up some of these double IPAs or single IPA, whatever it is. I don't really know. I've not been there. From Tesco's, from Thornbridge, and drink along with me and Rob, maybe on my channel next week.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks for having me.
So what do you say at the end of the video? Come on, Simon. You've got to do the honours.
What is it now? Comment, subscribe, stone the crows, and cheers.
Boom.
Boom.